Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome. This is going to be some 6-on-6 action, a custom in-house Hexakill game for the stream. I am Christopher Disciple Allen, and I am joined today by Goose the Grey. Do you want to tell us a little bit about who you are?
I am actually just a random play-by-play caster from Germany, but I'm here tonight invited over by Disciple, and I'm glad to be around to cast this game with him.
You're not just random, you're a friend of the stream, you've been here before, and you are certainly familiar with a lot of the goings-on here, but I think this is a little bit out of either of our comfort zones. Seeing 6-on-6, I have to get my fingers all the way over to the Y just to shift between the champions here. Since we have so many slots, everything looks a little funny, and this is my first time casting it, and it looks like right now we're actually seeing a 1v2 lane in the top with this little Cottontail Teemo against the massive dog and the little evil genius.
No way, that means we have a 3 versus 2 bottom lane. That's crazy right here, and you're right. This is completely out of the ordinary. I'm used to, casting regular 5v5 tournament games. I've done 1v1s, 2v2s, even an ARAM the other day, but I still have not seen something as crazy as this one.
Okay, looks like Einstein is actually running up here. He might be coming all the way top after leashing blue buff just to come back to lane. So that's actually really going to hurt Garen since he really functions off of levels to deal damage in the early game.
But at least it gets Teemo that little bit ahead, so he'll be able to do a little bit more up in that top lane. Now in bottom, we do... Actually, let's just go over the lane because it's kind of confusing. We have Nasus, Heimerdinger top lane on that Mustache team, then Amumu in the jungle, Talon in mid lane, and of course on bottom, we have Kennen and Morgana. Then on the red team, Mate, we have Teemo and Garen up in that top lane, as you mentioned. Garen a little bit late to lane, Hecarim in that jungle, Morgana in mid, and then Jinx and Leona fighting in that bottom lane as well. So pretty crazy setup here.
Right, I forgot to introduce the team names. Those were chosen by the team captains, just the first person on the list before the games. And so we have Mustache, our favorite chat command, and Mate over on the red team. And right now it's looking like there's actually quite a bit of action, at least on the bottom lane, with Reverse just trying his best to farm up, but Dragon Man really taking advantage of Kennen's early spell damage and the chain from the W when someone has a mark on him to really lay down some harass.
He's trying hard to put some damage on. Oh my god.
Wait, what a minute.
You just gotta execute it.
Wait a minute. First blood to the double golems.
And he had smite too. Like, he could have still killed something at least. But that's gonna be pretty unfortunate, slowing him down a little bit, especially as it costs him his blue buff. Didn't even get the red yet. But at least that means he can still get the red buff afterwards, so I guess that's a positive point.
Yeah, and he didn't waste his smite on something like surviving, so he'll have it again to get the red.
Totally OP as Leona goes in. Black Shield is there, and Mumu comes around, and that's a lot of damage onto Leona. She's exhausted, flashes away, and Morgana steps into the Flame Choppers, is able to walk away from underneath the tower. Pax per Mort is pretty low here, though. Might have to recall very soon.
Yeah, we typically don't see too many early Amumu ganks, and that went pretty well. I mean, Pax for Mortis definitely fell off of that. It was a really good bandage in, and I mean, if we see that kind of pressure from Jeffrick now, once he's level 6, he could definitely be a powerhouse, especially in this AoE bot lane. If you think of a Soul Shackles, a Slicing Maelstrom, and a Curse of the Sad Mummy all layered in onto two unsuspecting squishies in the bottom. I mean, Leona gets tanky eventually, but at level 6, Leona doesn't really have too much to her name.
And right now, the dangerous thing about a Leona is if she gets poked out of lane, which Kennen and Morgana are doing phenomenally well right now, she can't really do anything. She has to sit back, cannot engage, cannot really zone anyone, and instead is pretty much useless for AD carry. So Kennen and Morgana doing a really nice job here, putting on the pressure, doing very well. Another Zenith Blade missing, and that's going to be Kennen now, 10 CS ahead already.
Yeah, he's definitely doing well to apply that pressure in the bottom, and I realize this scoreboard isn't lining up all too well right here, since it is rather thrown off. In the middle lane, Morgana actually getting shoved back a little bit, but is farming up incredibly well. 28 CS to the 17 of Talon here. And I'm going to try and reorganize this scoreboard. I'm not sure how to do it, though.
Oh, Garen flashes and puts down the Ignite. That's going to be first blood this time around to a champion and not the double golems. Now Garen has to try and get away. Ignite comes down out of Nasus, but Garen is a little bit faster. Can he still get away? Mumu comes around. Could this be a double kill? No, there's no banish toss to come out of Joffrey 1. And right now, Brinny Boo looks like she might just make it out of trouble. Mumu's still chasing. Hecarim is running up there. And Mumu gonna let that pesky Teemo escape, but that was a 1-for-1 trade. First blood, though, coming out for Mate.
Yeah, that was nice to actually see the first blood instead of just some executing Dominions. But turning around in a nice pickup on Magnus, and Magnus is going to get pretty strong. If Einstein can only take a kill like that and trade over, then he might not have the strongest game, since Garen will eventually be drastically outscaled by Nasus in teamfight situations.
Once again, Leona trying to get onto that Morgana, but the strength of Morgana is showing. Just puts on that black shield as Hecarim now in the top lane. Has that red buff on himself, of course, but it's a 3 versus 2. The missiles actually miss out of Heimerdinger. The bandage toss came back. That's a nice amount of damage onto the horse. He has to run away and get himself out of trouble as another dark binding lands in that bottom lane. The zap comes out as well. Morgana really low. Is exhausted. Jinx goes in. Kennen meanwhile trying to pick off Leona. This could be a support trade. Kennen picks up the first one and Morgana makes it out. That is huge for them right now. She had to flash away, but she's going to be safe. And Kennen actually trading pretty evenly with Jinx on the way back there, so he's going to come out hugely on top of that. Another kill here gained for Mustache. Meanwhile, top lane, Heimerdinger going quite low. Nice repeat gang from Hecarim. Sticking around there until Amumu was gone, then picking up the kill. So 1 for 1 again across the board.
Yeah, they're definitely not giving you a break here as they are fighting quite aggressively. Jumbo coming back up, making a little bit happen up in the top, but Magnus going to stay pretty safe, especially with that passive life steal. So he should be able to continue farming up here, and he's doing a decent job of it so far. Oh, reverse in the bottom lane. Having a rough time. Dragon Man really playing this well, lining up the stuns and really comboing his spells to show why Kennen ADC works. It's not that he scales really well with attack damage, it's just that his early laning is so abusive.
Exactly, that's also why many people actually pick up Dorn's Blades even at the beginning of a normal game in there. If they're full AP in top lane, they'll still go for the Dorn's Blades early on, just to make his laning more of a bully lane. And right now, he's over 20 CS up in that bottom lane. Of course, we see a similar advantage in mid as another Dark Binding lands, and that's going to get Talon quite low. He's actually flashing away from Morgana. Has to stay safe there because the ultimate and the ignite as well as the flash was available. So you have to be scared. Gets out safely, but wastes his flash in return.
Yeah, Morgana is playing this lane incredibly strongly. You can see an actual double CS, 51 to 26. And Morgana hasn't been back here, still on the Doran's Ring and health potions. So he'll be pretty huge going back. We'll be able to get up to that Zanya's Hourglass soon. And if you're comparing this Morgana to Morgana matchup, because on Mustache we just have a support, it's going to mean that those big items like the Zanyas are going to come so much later than what Codemaster Wolfie can get.
Alright, now we do see another assault launched in this top lane. Teemo and Garen trying to get in there. Nice damage onto Heimerdinger. He's not been quite able to do what he wants to do in that lane. Just farm up and be somewhat of a lane bully himself, as Kennen meanwhile goes into that bottom lane, but the Flame Chopper's caught onto Morgana. There was the Solar Flare coming out of Leona. That's not going to catch onto anyone, so that's an ultimate used. And as soon as Morgana hits 6 in this bottom lane, I expect to see more aggression from Mustache.
Yeah, especially because Reverse isn't level 6 yet. So that's going to be a really strong combination. You can also see Jeffrick moving down through that river.
Right now we did have a kill going up in the top lane. There's the return kill once again, so another 1-for-1 trade. Teemo escaping with low HP, did eat a couple tower hits now in the bottom lane. Zap lands onto Morgana, she's trying to go in there. There's the ultimate, where's the ultimate? Still not there. Finally, Amumu coming around, huge ultimate. That's going to be a double kill onto Ken, and he's going to love that one, and Hecarim decides better than to rush in there and run to his death.
Exactly what we talked about, how those 3 ultimates combined are just going to be way too much for any 2 champions to deal with. And they just combine them through so easily, so strongly. Even though Shinigami fell rather low there, they still just could lock them up, keep Shinigami at low health, and just burn them down. Now picking up 2 kills for themselves will bring themselves in a nice 700 gold advantage. And it looks like Mustache is eking ahead, at least in the bottom lane. The top lane is still looking pretty strong for Einstein with the 2-2 Garen. He did pick up that second kill just before we came down bot, but of course he did fall again. He's definitely extending pretty far. He just has to make sure that he doesn't do it too often, or else, like we said, the high scaling possibilities in this top lane are definitely going to be scary if Magnus gets too big.
It's going to be quite terrifying, but we do see Amumu once again trying to put on some pressure in that mid lane, help out his Talon, because Talon is not having a good time in that mid lane. He's been bullied by Morgana. She's really been the one shoving him around. Already has that needlessly large rot, so making her presence felt in that lane as well. And now Hecarim and Amumu meeting in the river. Is that going to be something as Amumu tries to call his friends down? Is going to walk onto an Easter egg, take a nice amount of damage, turns it around, goes in with a bandage toss, but that stun from Heimerdinger not quite landing. Now Garen comes around. Puts on the damage, spins to win, but it's not going to be quite enough to pick up any major damage right now. A lot of turrets are down, Heimerdinger using his ultimate as well, and this might just be a standoff with both Amumu and Hecarim, ending up going back to their respective jungles.
Jumbo really needs to back off. He doesn't have his Onslaught of Shadows yet. He's still level 5, and he really needs to get back on that jungle, make sure he doesn't die to camps, and then come back. And even though he just hit level 6, he still is under half health, and jumping into a fight would just be suicide at this point. It looks like he still wants to do it.
It looks like he wants. He's coming back around. There is no ward spotting him out, so he's quite okay. Amumu now behind enemy lines, goes in. Here's Hecarim as well. Heimerdinger going so low. Flash away from Garen. There was the Onslaught of Shadows, but it's not enough. Nasus picks that one up. Can they get more? Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Morgana picking up the kill onto Leona. Now Flash Force out of Teemo as well to try and survive that one. So another, this time around, 2 for 0. Kennen in a little bit of trouble. Does get hit up quite hard. The Super Mega Death Rocket will finalize that one. So at least one kill traded back here.
Yeah, there's so much going on, and it's so difficult to navigate between the 12 champions here, but what's looking like a lot of aggression from both teams is really leaving both of them pretty even. Mr. Balloon's forcing the Flash out of that bottom lane. Einstein is still strong despite losing a bit in that top fight.
You know, and Einstein has 63 CS, so he's actually doing the best up in that top lane. If we count together, Garen and Teemo, they're at 94 compared to the 76 of their opposition top lane, so they're actually doing quite well for themselves still up here in that top lane, even though, and they're 3 to 3 in kills actually, so they're completely fine, and they're 3 to 3 in assists as well. Beautiful top lane. I'd actually call that one for you what, mate, aside from the scaling, of course.
Right, it's coming out strong right now, so if he can get that Sunfire cape and then he can just kind of hop into a fight. Right now he's a lot tankier than Magrus can be, even though Magrus has 3 kills. So eventually those kills are going to be too much. I mean, when Nasus builds full tank, he does a lot more damage, and we'll see how tanky he is now.
And they're going in on him again, take about 2/3 of his HP away. But a huge flash out of Morgana gets herself safe from that Amumu ultimate. Now Garen trying to get more aggression down to that top lane. It's not going to be enough. He has to back off. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Morgana did go back, picked up a Sightstone and that, come on, name Nomad's Medallion. That's what I was looking for, as her enemy supported as well, so support's pretty even here. And Kennen actually rushed that Gunblade. That's very interesting.
Okay, so they realize that they don't necessarily need an AD carry. They have good scaling AD on Nasus. They have good mid-game AD on Talon. And so if he's doing well with his auto attacks with magic damage, I mean, this Gunblade should give him a really powerful mid-game, even if he doesn't necessarily get the attack speed and crits that a late-game AD carry is just kind of signified by.
And do you know who else is building full AD? It's Amumu. Amumu is right now with a
He's building a Ravenous Hydra? What?
He's going for a Ravenous Hydra. That's
Jeffrick,
what it looks like.
What are you doing, Jeffrick? Oh, man.
That could be pretty interesting to see on that part.
Interesting is the word.
Standard,
interesting is the word.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We'll see how it faces up in the 3v3 bot.
Try to get in. Nice Dark Binding stops him right in his tracks, and he turns around again, says, nope, thank you very much. I'll just back off again. It's a 2v3, and he goes back in now. Here's Onslaught of Shadows. Amumu Banish Toss misses a huge solo flare, and the Morgana ultimate is big too. Flash away from Jinx. Amumu and Kennen flash after. Can they get more? Pax for Mortis is still all the way back. Kennen instead decides to try and dive. Doesn't quite manage to get. Oh yes, he does get Jinx, and he even survives the tower. Can he survive the minions as well? No.
Auto attack for the life. No.
He cannot.
He needed to get the life steal. He has spell vamp as well from the Gunblade. I think he could have survived it, but he just tried to go for the safest play, which ended up costing him. Oh.
Meanwhile, top lane, that was a kill onto Heimerdinger. He just got taken out right away by the huge damage out of Teemo and Garen.
He can't fight that far away from his turret. You can see he built up 3, but they're all way back here, and now they won't be helping defend this turret up against the Einstein and Brynn.
Alright, now it's going to be up to Nasus to try and defend that tower. Brynny taking a tower hit, trying to back away from that one, but she's going to be quite comfortable doing that one. She has the Stinger and the Fiendish Codex completed. Meanwhile, we do have that bottom tower going down. First tower of the game going over to Mustache. 1-0 so far, and about 1,000, my math is off at this time of night, 1,800 gold up? No, that's wrong.
Yeah, you're actually about right there. It's 1,700 gold in the favor of Mustache, who continue to be our favorite chat command. So, Mustache doing well. They have good scaling. Talon, hasn't really seen much action at all, whereas Jeffrick in the jungle, this AD Amumu, has 6 assists to his name, a 7-kill participation on Dragon Man as well.
Very nice there from Mustache, and of course that gives them a lot of assist gold across the team. Now I really like what Teemo's doing here. A lot of shrooms all around the map. Now Joffrey goes in on to Garen. Can they get anything? Teemo is on his way there. There's the Curse of the Sad Mummy. They're taking quite a lot of damage onto Garen. There's Shroom though. They step on it. That's going to slow them down, but it's still going to be enough. Heimerdinger picks this one up. Backs away. Meanwhile, Kennen down in that bottom, or actually in the enemy jungle, went over to the Wolves and invaded that one. Takes out Hecarim.
Yeah, that was a really powerful pickup. He realized that Jubweb's been staying in the jungle on pretty low health, and it definitely costed him there. Now Codemaster Wolfie might be caught out.
Codemaster Wolfie wants to try and get at least a kill onto Talon. Does do so much damage to the Tormented Soul. Is going to be enough. Morgana's trade kills. That's going to be each one of them picking one up. But of course, the Morgana out of You Want Mate is a mid lane. Already having that needlessly large draw. Now Kennen going aggressive down there onto Jinx. There's going to be the stun, but Leona's around. That's going to make him back off. Of course, this Morgana was just in mid, so she's not there to help him out.
Oh god, you know what Dragon Man is doing? He's going for a Runan's Hurricane. Dragon Man's going for Runan's.
Oh my god.
He's going for the on-tack Kennen build. I mean, so every auto attack from the Runans does count towards his W, so he will be able to stack that up a lot faster and apply those Marks of the Storm very quickly. But he also is building a Runan's Hurricane, so that might discount from all of the advantages the item brings.
So this is going to be crazy. Meanwhile, in top lane, Garen runs in onto Heimerdinger. Can he get the kill? Nope. He's just going to do a little bit of damage. Back off again. Already has that Sunfire Cape, so quite beefy at this point. It is quite comfortable surviving. Now Nasus stepping onto his shroom. They try to turn it around. Bruni Poo trying to get some damage down. It's not going to be enough. For now, both of these teams, you know, tiptoeing around one another. Is Hecarim going quite low once again in his jungle. He has to be careful.
Ooh, and in the top, there's just so much fighting going back and forth, but Magnus and Einstein are getting very tanky, so it's really going to be up to Bruni Poo and Blue Winds.
But here comes the bottom lane fight. The Dark Binding is down. The Tormented Soul is there as well. As kills traded. Kennen and Jinx going down so far. The support's both alive. Of course, one did go onto Jinx, one onto Morgana. Morgana's now trying to get onto Leona. She's not quite going to manage. Now Heimerdinger finds himself in a lot of trouble. Puts down his ultimate. It's not going to be enough. Teemo picks that one up. That's another kill over to You Want Mate. So 14-9 at this point. Teemo having to flash away from Nasus. Nasus still wants more. He's ignited at this point. Running back towards the tower. Flash out of Garen. He wants a kill, but the ultimate is there out of Nasus. Defending against the ultimate out of Garen.
Right, that Negatron Cloak definitely keeps off a lot of the damage that Garen can deal. And so he'll stay alive. 3-0-1. This Nasus is still pretty big, continuing to farm up as well. But Garen has claimed a huge advantage in CS up here, 108, which is pretty rough to find in this Hexakill match, it seems. And right now, I mean, with all the fighting that's going on, the game is staying really even. 1,300 gold between Mustache and You Want Mate. And I really just want to see a team fight, because that's really what we're looking for here in a Hexakill match.
Exactly, and at this point it is 1-1 in towers. They can just stop pushing them and instead just group up in mid, try to make something happen for us. Because Kennen now has finished that Runan's Hurricane. I want to see him work some magic in that mid lane.
Oh man, I mean, if they group up close enough, Runan's is cost effective, but the chances of your enemies being that close and of Runan's being the best possible option are usually pretty low. But hey, we'll see. Anything can happen. It's a Hexakill, maybe with that Runan's, with all that AoE damage. That might be our first Hexakill we've seen.
And look at Morgana and Kennen trying to go in there. The flash out of Morgana puts down that ultimate. The Dark Binding is there as well. Now Kennen goes in. It was onto Leona though, and she's quite beefy. There goes the Super Mega Death Rocket. That's going to be the first kill. Nice 500 gold shutdown going on to Jinx. Kennen wants the kill. He's going to get one. Talon is around the corner. Can they get a second one? Leona flashes away. Lightning Rush is here. Where's that Runan's Hurricane doing the damage? One more. That's going to be the double kill onto Kennen. Talon sadly not even getting an assist, but a 1-for-2 trade down there.
Now, Runan's helped by being a very, very expensive attack speed item, but hey, they still were able to get a 2-for-1. Talon couldn't get in there for the assist, but hey, he's just had a pretty lonely game so far. With the last Whisper, he is working towards a pretty strong mid to late game, though. So even though he's not having a lot of participation, as long as he can keep farming up, he'll still be a presence in the game.
So crazy so far. Where's that first dragon going to be? They're not picking it up just yet, despite a Mumu hanging around that mid lane. Now Garen roamed down as well. So right now it's a 3 versus 3 standoff. with Hecarim around there as well. Kinnan lands a stun, now he's going to get knocked back. There's the ultimate out of Amumu, that's going to be Hecarim going down so fast. Huge amounts of damage coming out of Mustache at this point. Look at this, 8, 3, and 4 Kennen.
Yeah, Hecarim's had a rough time. Oh, Kennen caught up though.
Ooh, they turned it around with that help of Leona. The Eclipse landed as well, but can Kennen get away? He's actually managing now. Morgana is around the corner. They're putting the damage back onto Leona. She goes down, Talon gets caught and returned into another Dark Binding. Those two Tormented Soils really confuse me at times. I can't tell who's whose. Which one is whose? That way.
Yeah, there's definitely a big part of this map that both teams are afraid to walk around when that happens. Shinigami wasn't able to get in there for the ult. He's still up.
Wow, beautiful ultimate there out of reverse, picking up a kill. Now he's going to get taken out in return. Nice one by Amumu. Meanwhile, top lane Garen did take out Heimerdinger, so a lot of action back and forth, and it evens out at 19-13. But finally, the gold lead has extended to 2,000 now.
Yeah, 32 kills in the 22-minute game. Honestly, not the most we've seen. We've seen more than a 5 versus 5, but it's still been pretty kill-tastic. Heimerdinger will probably not be dying so much now that he's picked up that lasagnas, but I think the biggest item pickup that we want to look at is Jeffrick's Ravenous Hydra. Just finished out on the jungle Amumu.
And I want to see him do work with that one. Heimerdinger teleports top to defend that tower, so nothing much going to happen there. But Amumu now moving back out onto the rift, looking to make things happen and kill some people. He wants to kill something, to put it in his own words, and we'll see whether he manages. Now we have 3 people waiting in that top lane. Heimerdinger has to get out. He's still very squishy. Hecarim moves out into the lane, reveals himself, and Teemo goes down over to him. Nicely done. Nasus dealing the ton of damage, and then Heimerdinger just with that auto attack finishing off the kill. So nice pickup there. And now Kennen is building towards the Zanya's Hourglass as well.
Yeah, I mean, so it'll be a triple Zanya's team here. I mean, I guess we won't see one coming out of Mimu since he is going AD, but that'll definitely be funny to see in team fights. It depends on how effective it'll be. Hey, maybe if they have these 3 huge AoE ultimates with some pretty big AoE damage dealers coming out from Nasus, from Heimerdinger, and from Talon, that could be pretty interesting if they're able to follow in up after those Zanyas have been popped.
Now we have Talon finally picking up his own TMI. He wants to get that Ravenous Hydra as well. Hasn't been able to do quite that well against that Morgana, about 50 CS down, but it doesn't even matter. He's going to get stronger and stronger now that he finally gets that Tiamat and then the Ravenous Hydra completed. And he's going to need some more help from his team, but right now the brunt of Mustache's power is definitely in that bottom lane. 5 kills onto Morgana, 8 kills onto Kennen. They have to try and snowball this into a bigger lead for their entire team. Else all that Mate have to do is focus those two and win any kind of team fight.
You say that Talon got it to farm and catch up, but I really think he just doesn't want to look ridiculous with his jungler having a Ravenous Hydra, but he doesn't.
And that might be true, so he's just taking that one to catch up. Meanwhile, we did see Teemo being taken out in top lane. Kennen putting down nice harass onto Hecarim. He has to back off, so now it is a 3 versus 4 standoff in mid lane, and yet Mustache are coming out ahead. Now they catch out Garen up there in that jungle, or is he really caught? He turns it around onto Nasus. The Wither goes down trying to protect Nasus. He's still ignited. Here comes the flash out of Garen. He's sped up as well. Can he get onto Nasus? Can he make it? Can he finalize that kill? Nope. He slows down again, and he might go under the tower. No, he decides to turn it around, try get onto Heimerdinger. That one flashes away. Now what is Garen going to do? He actually uses it onto Nasus, picks up that kill. 400 nice shutdown gold onto him. Going to be quite happy taking that one home.
Oh, and then the Dark Binding's missing on bottom, but there's the engage on the Shinigami.
Nice Solar Flare coming out, but the Dark Shield was there. Here comes Hecarim through the middle with that Dark Shield on himself. There comes the Morgana ultimate number 1. Morgana ultimate number 2 is out as well. Nice Sonya's Hourglass keeps him safe, and that's going to be a huge fight over to Mate with 2 double kills, 1 on Morgana, 1 on Jinx, and a 5-for-1 exchange. No, 4-for-1. Nasus went down on top, but a 4-for-1 exchange there in mid.
Right, that was pretty big here for Mate. They're now going to be able to take a turret out of this. If Reverse has anything to say about this, Pax Primordius tanking up that turret with Eclipse, and they will bring it down. They probably can't stay here too long. Pax Primordius is on such low health, and Codemaster Wolfie isn't too survivable either, but Magris really takes a lot of damage, has to throw the ultimate.
Uses his ultimate, gets 1 Q onto Jinx, then has to back off, still throws down that Spirit Fire, trying to defend the tower as long as possible. But that sequence of events was huge for Mate all of a sudden. They turned up the aggression with a beautiful team fight in that mid lane. And the Zhonya's Hourglass on Morgana really doing huge amounts of work there, keeping herself safe throughout the entire ultimate. And it was a 4-person one as well, so she got a bunch of snares off, and the rest of her team just laid down the damage. So very nice fight from them. I'm going to be looking for them to do that again in the next team fight, as we now have the other Morgana also almost having that Zhonya's Hourglass completed, and the rest of both teams slowly stacking up on these items as well. But Dragon has been quite lonely this game. Have we even seen a single pickup on him?
I don't think so. Right now I'm more interested by seeing Jeffrick take out the minion waves with the Ravenous Hydra. There's so much AoE on Amumu now. He has this single target spell from his bandage toss, and everything else is going to be dealing pretty nice AoE damage.
Yeah, so he's going to be annihilating any AoE camp / minion waves, and here he sits in the bush, wants to see whether he can get onto Garen. But look at this 5-man stack here from Mate. They might be going for the Dragon for the first time in this game. Hakura moving around there. We have Morgana and Kennen sitting around the corner. Kennen, you might get yourself caught. Yes, you have red buff, but those are 3 people waiting for you. The Dark Binding lands onto Leona. That's pretty nice, but there's the enemy Morgana coming around the side. That's going to be Dragon. Finally picked up at 27 minutes for the first time. Kennen gets slowed down by the zap. There's a Talisman of Ascension coming out of Morgana, and the Lightning Rush coming out of Kennen. He wants to get away. The zap almost landing that. It's a flash away. Hecarim uses that Onslaught of Shadows as well. Barely dodges that Dark Bending. It's going to land onto Leona, but Kennen's safe. The rest of Mate's safe, and no more action going to come from that one. Oh, meanwhile in top lane, they're trying to get onto Garen. Can they make it? Nope, he just walks away. Actually, Bandage Toss lands. Now he spins to win. Tries to get out of that one. There's a Shroom right in the way. That should keep him safe. Both Nasus and Amumu gonna get slowed down heavily here, and they have to back off, give up on the chase.
Mr. Blue and his Smoking Golden Ace did work down that turret in the middle, so they evened it up 3-3, and there's only 1,400 gold between these teams. That's a number that we've been seeing for quite some time, never really getting much more than 1,500 between both of them. Mustache and Mate just really focusing on the kills here, focusing on having a good time in the Hexakill match and not necessarily on taking the objectives, but hey, I think that's fun for us to watch.
It definitely is, and I mean, always trying to figure out what players are doing. Is he really going for that Ravenous Hydra? Is he really going for that Gunblade and then the Rune's Hurricane? Is that really what they're going for? What does he try to achieve with that? Casting that is just fun, as we see Kennen going in once again onto Jinx. Picks her up very, very quickly. Nicely done there. But, I mean, a single pickup isn't enough. He has to win the team fights with his team.
Your voice is wrong there. Is he really going for a Rune's Hurricane? Is he really getting taken out here by Einstein?
And we have Garen trying to take him out, but a nice one out of Morgana slows him down with that exhaust. That's the ultimate coming down, and now Kennen has to be careful. Might have just gotten himself into a little more trouble than he can handle. He gets a slowdown with that red buff that has now fallen off. He uses a lightning rush to try and get away. Garen still chasing him, not going to be able to chase underneath the tower. So Kennen survives to see another day as Nasus is still split pushing that top lane.
Yeah, the Hexak Gunblade kept him alive there, shooting that on the Einstein and getting out in time. And now Jeffrick's going to try and help them defend up this bottom lane. It might be rough though, since Jeffrick isn't necessarily doing as much damage as you'd expect Amumu to do. Oh, Pax Mortis goes in. And goes out.
Going very team there. The rest of the team not quite there. Teemo's right on the follow-up though, and there's Garen going under the tower. Spins to win a bit. Has to back off again. Meanwhile, Hecarim in that mid lane wants the kill onto Heimerdinger. Flash out of Jinx. She wants to catch up as well. They're putting down nice damage. Super Mega Death Rocket comes in. That's going to be the kill onto Heimerdinger. Now, can they get Talon as well? He does go into his ultimate form. Tries to run away. Zap, not quite going to land. That's going to be him escaping. Meanwhile, Garen finds the Kennen in the jungle. Spin, 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 spin. And that might be the kill. The berry comes out. Not quite yet. The lightning rush away, and now Morgana finds herself a Hecarim. Is that going to be a kill for her? The Tormented Soul doing a lot of damage. That is going to be a kill. Meanwhile, Kennen not able to escape either, though.
Yeah, everyone closed on him, and he wasn't getting out of that one. He definitely lived for a long time.
Oh my god, we have Amumu jumping right into the middle. There's Morgana as well. She uses her Zhonya's before her ultimate. She doesn't quite have it yet, actually, but that's already a kill. Traded back and forth. Now, can Talon survive this? Nope. Garen picks up another one. Now, can Morgana survive? She did put down the ultimate, but it only hit Garen. No, not Leona. That's going to be the kill after a flash out of Garen. Nice one done there. Double kill for Garen.
It really looked like Mustache might have been able to turn that around, but it was just too rough. And I don't think that Jeffrick's Ravenous Hydra build is doing the damage you'd like it to, as it would if he had maybe a Sunfire Cape, maybe a little bit of ability power in there as well. It's definitely fun to see, and the Morgana as well, not getting the Soul Shackles on more than one person, and Garen really not being the target you want to hit up with that, since he has a lot of health under his belt right now. Under his Giant's belt. Ha!
I see what you did there.
You're welcome for
Tons
that.
of damage.
You're allowed to use that in the future now.
I will try to remember. And if I ever do come across a giant spell that I want to make a pun about, I will remember it. And bring that one up. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we're getting back around here. We are looking at a 3,000 golden disadvantage for Mustache, so it's getting pretty close. The smite comes across and Jumbo Web steals that away, so a good plan, but Magris might have him out of his element. Pax Mortis comes back over.
They're trying to fight this one. Morgana comes around. Shinigami putting down a nice Dark Binding. Now it might just be you what mate having to disengage their 4 members from Mustache closing in. Teemo's coming around as well. Here goes Nasus with that ultimate. Pax Mortis getting hit up by another Dark Binding. Leona solo flare comes out. They're engaging on this. It's huge damage coming out right now. Morgana with that Zanya's Hourglass. Beautiful. The other Morgana actually Zanyasing as well and doesn't quite get stunned up by that Dark Binding due to her Dark Shield. Manages to walk away from now, and Garen still trying to get onto Talon. Can he manage? Meanwhile in the bottom lane we have Jinx and Kennen dueling once more. Jinx, you're gonna lose. No, she wins. And Garen picks up Talon. Teemo picks up Morgana. So a huge team fight win here for you, what mate? Once again, a 5-for-1 exchange.
And I hate to criticize people's builds, but a Runeans is not as good in a 1 versus 1 situation as any other item might have been. Oh, Jaffrick now caught up under the turret.
This is a Garen that once more in a beautiful Dark Shield actually protects Einstein from that Curse of the Sad Mummy. He's just going to walk away, force Joffrey off that tower, and now they're going to take the top inner tower as well.
And one thing that's nice about that black shield is that shields scale with your damage mitigation. So since Einstein has some pretty high resistances, mostly armor, but some magic resistance as well, when you put the black shield on him, that it's going to be really hard to break through the black shield, especially when you're up against an AD Amumu. The Curse of the Sad Mummy didn't even do enough to break the black shield, so not only does it not stun him, but he can't be stunned up by anything else until you take that off of him.
Right now, 29 to 26. A 6,000 gold advantage now for you, what made there 4 to 3, and Tara's Dragon is about to respawn. Actually, it is live as I say this. And at this point, Mustache has to try and figure out a way to come back from this one, and I would say it is going for that dragon, but you see Joffrey in that top half of the jungle stepping onto Teemo Shroomer too. Teemo doing a nice job. You can see the shrooms just scattered all over the place, preventing vision and giving them vision.
And this is going to be a pretty clear dragon from you what mate once again, going to bring up their gold even higher, taking that up to an 8,000 gold lead, which is the biggest we've seen, and we're finally having a little bit of a decent lead. The turret in the top might be returned unless Bryn can get in there soon and defend it up, but I really don't think so. Magris is doing some pretty good damage with the Siphon Souls now. Siphoning Strike.
Yeah, that Siphoning Strike does huge damage. They're going on to Brinny Poo. Can't you get away? Another Q comes out of Nasus. That's going to be the kill. The Ignite was there as well. Now Garen tries to return the favor onto Heimerdinger. They are going to get him because Garen is around the corner. Now Jinx slows up Nasus with that zap. The Flame Choppers are there as well. Super Mega Death Rock coming in. But Nasus is still chasing the Spirit Fire. Goes down. One more Siphoning Strike. That could be the kill. Nope, it's not going to be enough. And Jinx picks up that kill.
Magris is huge, but the kiting was so excellent there. Jinx just continuing to throw down the Flame Chompers, throw down the Zap, and run backwards. He almost got taken out there in a 1 versus 3, but it just wasn't there from Magris. He didn't have a Randuin's, or it looks like he's actually building up a Guardian Angel soon, which definitely could help him out, but if the rest of his team falls around him, then the Guardian Angel won't keep him alive for too much longer.
Nasus alone isn't going to be able to stand against 6 members of the opposition. And while we were talking about all that Rune's Hurricane stuff, Teemo has picked one up himself.
Hey, if you can buy it, you might as well. I guess is the thought behind it. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, in the end, there are more enemies, so I guess there are more chances for your Runean's procs to hit since you're against 6 people instead of 5.
And I mean, on Teemo, it also makes sense simply because he works very well with that poison as well. And if he gets that onto several people, he does a lot more damage over time. So, I mean, I've seen a couple Teemos do that, actually. It's been a long time since I saw that on any other AD carry. So we now have a big siege here coming in from you what mate. Nasus the only one far away, and he doesn't have a teleport either. Hecarim might find himself in trouble. Talon goes in, that's going to be the kill onto him. Nice lead on there. Jinx tries to turn it around. Heimerdinger using his ultimate in the backline. There comes the Mumu ultimate. The Solar Flare is there as well. The Super Mega Death Rocket missed completely though. Teemo, can you get the last hit and that is needed? Garen picks up one. Can he get anything else? Joffrey escaping with such low HP, but Jinx picks up one. Morgana picked up another. Teemo going to go down in return, but that overall was a triple kill for Garen and another 5-for-2 exchange, and Nasus up in that top lane, not able to help his team out at all.
Yeah, he will be pushing, but Einstein is going to recall. He doesn't have the home guard boots, but still should be able to get in there in time, and that's actually a recall from Nasus to try and defend this up. Reverse doing so much damage to the turret there is going to take it out without too much of a thought and move right onto the inhibitor, but a late game Jinx really working that down. Magra's going to come in and try and defend.
Now they have to go turn the tail onto Nasus, turn the aggression onto Nasus. They almost take him out. He's down to about a fifth of his HP. Now they're just going to get the inhibitor and hopefully back off. Are they really going to stick around? That's very, very risky. Nope. Finally, they walk away. Stay safe for themselves, and that's just what a Jinx does once she has that Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, and Phantom Dancer. She's very, very powerful.
Right, and the last whisper coming out next from Reverse is really going to trigger a huge power spike here. There's a lot of armor on the Mustache team. Everyone has solid armor except for Amumu and Talon. Amumu we would typically see some, but not on AD Amumu, who's now looking to build maybe a Sunfire Cape and a Spirit of the Elder Lizard? Or no, Spirit of the Spectral Wraith.
Who knows what that Amumu is thinking? Nobody can really tell, but we do have a Baron going on. We have May trying to take that one out. They've already got it very low, and it is going to be completely uncontested. No vision whatsoever from Mustache. And now Mustache really has to defend inside their base. They cannot afford to go anywhere because they're just going to get caught out by this Baroned up team.
Right, they have to back off here. Smoking Golden Ace won't be able to handle Einstein.
Because Einstein just walks in there, spins a little bit. There comes the ultimate out of Talon, trying to get away from this one. There's still Einstein right behind him, speeds himself up. A nice flash out of Talon, saves him for the time being. Now there's Morgana, gets a root down onto Garen. He tries to walk away, still has that Guardian Angel as well, but he's still at half HP, even after tanking 3 members of the opposition for that long. We have Heimerdinger and Nasus split pushing in bottom lane, but that leaves the rest of you, mate, to shove down that mid. Oh my god, Jinx, do you see that damage? She basically almost 3-hit. Nice interception of the Super Mega Death Rocket by Nasus. So Jinx now very, very low, has to try and get away. Nice Dark Binding out of Heimerdinger, out of Morgana, slowing down Nasus. That's going to be another kill. Hecarim picked up Heimerdinger. Jinx picks up Nasus. 6th person stack in the bottom lane from you, mate.
The kite is real, and after that excellent fight, taking out 2 members here of Mustache, they should be able to just barrel down into that base. They're moving up towards the mid lane since they know there's nothing to take out in the bottom, and they should be able to take this up. I mean, Garen has so much health. They also have a Leona and a Hecarim to all take some of those tower shots, since they don't really have to worry about it too much. Shinigami as well might be poking his head out a bit too far. Garen backing up quite a bit, though, so I guess they're not going to storm this down as much as I expected they might.
I think here with Hecarim and Garen coming back in, they sadly lost the minion wave. It's currently back at their middle inner tower, all the way across the map, so they're going to have to wait quite a while or tower dive this, and I don't think they're quite comfortable with that. There is a lot of crowd control on the enemy team. With that Curse of the Sad Mummy, the soul shackles out of Morgana, Heimerdinger having a stun, they're a little bit scared of that, and instead they exchange blows over the wall, and now just clear out that minion wave. Theirs is on the way, and as soon as that gets there, I expect them to try and put down as much damage onto that tower as they can.
Right, with that minion wave walking in, this is going to trigger a pretty big fight, I expect.
The 6v6, everyone is around right now. The Flame Choppers were there. Pax Primordius, Leona looking for the engage. It's not going to be quite there. Brinny Poo on that. Teemo puts a blinding dart onto Ken, and he takes a lot of damage from that one. And it is a standoff once more. Dark Binding hits, takes half the hit points off of Heimerdinger. That's going to be the engage. A huge Dark Tormented Soil. Now Nasus is getting hit up quite hard. That's the tankiest member of the team getting exploded. Curse of the Sad Mummy doing a huge amount of damage. Both of the Morganas currently in their Zhonya stasis. That's going to be one of Morgana going down. Triple kill onto her, but she's gonna go down in the end. This is actually a huge fight for Mustache. They're still ahead. This is currently a 5-for-4 exchange, and if they can get Garen as well, this would be huge for them. He does still have his Guardian Angel. There goes Morgana, steps onto his Shroom. This could be the turnaround from Garen alone. Yes, he gets a double kill and turns it all around. Actually, it's just one. Teemo picked up the other one with that Shroom.
Of course Teemo stole one of them because, you know, Teemo. That was a really big fight under the turret. The AoE came across, and even though Jeffrick has just been building the AD build mostly, it still worked out pretty well for them. they were also able to get off some huge Morgana and Kennen ultimates. And if it weren't for Einstein, if it weren't for the overextension, it would have been a team fight win. They would have kept the turret alive. But because they went into face check, because they split up a little as well, it allowed Einstein to turn around and take out this inhibitor by himself. Oh, there it goes down.
And now he's just going to rotate down to that bottom lane. He wants more. He's getting greedy, gets stunned up. That's probably going to be his death. No, he still has that Randuin and just walks away. God damn it, Garen is so scary when he's fed.
Oh yeah, the Alacrity enchantment, the speed from his Q, the slow removal as well, and then the Randuins. He is almost untouchable at this point. He has such a powerful build. That pickaxe probably going to go into a Last Whisper, and there it is. Such an amazing late game from Einstein's Garen.
He is at full build now, so he's not going to get much stronger, but he doesn't even need to get much stronger because right now, he's basically playing 1 versus 4, and the rest of his team just has to clean up. That middle inhibitor is down, the bottom one going to be under siege very, very soon. We do have a Guardian Angel now picked up by Jinx, so you what, mate, now has 2 people at full build, maybe even 3. No, Morgana not quite there yet, still missing the last item, but they almost have 3 people at their full item build, and that's not what you want to fight against.
Right, especially when you see the discrepancies on things like the Mustache Morgana with Jester, Randuin, Zoman. I mean, the magic penetration will be nice from the hunting guys, but really not mean that much compared to the other Morgana, Mr. Blue
Oh
wins.
my god, that Super Mega Death Rocket takes him out, and here comes the fight afterwards. They still want more. Joffrey, you're getting hit up quite hard. Are you going to be able to escape? Nope. Double kill onto Jinx. That Curse of the Sad Mummy not even used. Now Jinx wants to get onto Nasus Lancet. Zap slowed, but Talon is around the corner. Jinx getting hit up quite hard. Can she survive this? She still has that Guardian Angel. Nasus now going down quite low. Talon is going to get taken out by Teemo, and Leona picking up the kill onto Nasus. Nice one done there. And this might just be game. 4 men dead on Mustache. Can they defend this any longer? Kennen goes in onto Jinx. Almost gets that kill immediately now. Hecarim. God, I'm getting confused with the names. Getting hit up quite hard by that Tara Morgana, getting the snare onto both Kennen and the enemy Morgana. That's going to be 2 kills. Garen, you don't want to chase onto the fountain. That would still kill you, but the Nexus towers are going down. Still 10 more seconds until the first one respawns from Mustache, and this might just be the game. GG, well played after a little over 43 minutes. Over to you what, mate?
Congratulations there to you what, mate. To Codemaster Wolfie, Pax for Mortis, Brinny Poo, Einstein, Reversed, and Jubba. That was a whole lot of fun. My first Hexakill I've casted. And thank you very much for joining me, Goose.
Thank you for inviting me over. It was a lot of fun. I personally haven't done this before either, and it was quite entertaining.
Yeah, a lot
and
of kinks to work
through.
through.
You actually get used to the scoreboard being so small, so it's actually quite cool.
Yeah. The navigating the between the champions, that was what threw me. Trying to press the Y and the 6 keys.
Yeah, it's a little bit it's confusing when there are all of a sudden 6 instead of 5 champions. But it worked.